Hey everyone, Honest Stewie here, and I'm looking sharp now, aren't I? I'm liking this little quiff as well. In case you haven't noticed, I've had my ears lowered a bit. Now I've had my haircut, in other words. Because obviously I thought I was overdue a haircut, and I'm going away next week. So yeah, I just wanted to do a video. It's pretty much like a follow up in a way. I did a video. My last video was on the most boring game ever that I've played. So this is going to be the boring movie I've watched. And I mentioned a little bit of it in the last video, but I'm going to show you the trailer first because I'm going to show you how much it drew me in. And the reviews, it was 4 stars, right? All the reviews said it was really good. All the comments on YouTube were praising it, saying the acting was good, saying that the story was good to it. Let me show you the trailer. It's only on 48 seconds, so I'll show it. Hold on a sec. Just making sure I can pause this because last time I clicked pause, it ended the video, so I have to do the intro again. There's like 2 buttons, so hopefully this pauses it. I think it does. Right? See you in a few. Look how cool that looks. 4 stars as well. Here's a trailer here, I'll show you it.
You will watch people die tonight. Then I'll watch you die.
You're not real.
Fright Fest as well, in Signature.
James Lincoln Fields.
Killed like 30 women.
35.
He's still alive, right?
This is on my iPad, by the way. Oh, look at this. Looks sick, right?
He keeps a gun in his locker.
This?
Told you I was real.
Badass. Look at it, it looks trippy as, right? It looks like to be packed full of it. And it looks like she dies at the end of it, right? Which, obviously, we know she doesn't. I'm back. I'm doing the recording on the stairs now because the glare in the living room was just something different. All you could see was my face on that screen. But you see how good that trailer looked? Unreal, didn't it? Like, I watched that and I thought, that looks like a proper horror movie where it's going to be plenty of killings in it. And it looks like there was going to have, like, a ghost in it. Because it looked like she had some hallucinations going on. Some ghosts. And I thought, ooh, that'll be cool. You know, looked quite trippy, a little bit Evil Dead as well. I was getting. I mean, the guy sort of reminds me a little bit of Bruce Campbell. And it looked cool. It looked a bit like Mike Myers, but not Mike Myers, you know, like with the hood up sort of thing. Oh no, who's the one with the hood up? Friday the 13th, isn't it? Well, one of them anyway. It looked pretty cool anyway. And I thought, oh, she's going to be in a gas station. And she's obviously going to have to survive the night there. And a lot of people are going to die along the way, and it's going to be quite good and gruesome. And Fright Fest as well are usually really good. Bear with me a second, I'm going to nose because my heart allergies are like something else right now. I'm back, right? My finger's in the way then. Like I say, so yeah, it looked really good, and it looked like it was going to be, you know, a few tropes to a few traditional horrors, like I mentioned, you know, Friday the 13th, Halloween, that type of style, you know. So I start watching it, and it starts off with her getting interviewed for the gas station job, and the guy goes over a record, and it's actually on a record that her ex, now current, you know, last boyfriend she had, was a serial killer, and he only killed women because he was a coward. Nothing like that, but like he was just an absolute douche. And what she used to do, she used to watch, so he'd force her to watch it. So that explains some of the hallucinations she's getting from it, which makes sense. So I thought, right, I'll roll with that. So anyway, like I say, she's getting interviewed, and it says that, you know, she killed her boyfriend by setting him on fire. And she's been to jail. No, that's it. It says she's been to jail. It doesn't say why. I've skipped ahead there. But anyway, she explains that to the boss. And the guy's like, well, have you stole before? And she's like, no. And he's like, well, can I trust you here? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, well, you know what? I'll take you on. And it turns out the reason he said that is because the cop, who is the most pointless character in the movie, well, I say pointless, he's dumb. He's dumb. You know, he's not, considering he's a detective as well, he's not good at all. He's like her parole officer, so to speak, and he's just terrible. He apparently knows the gas station owner, and wanted to get her a job so that she would be able to be released from jail and onto the streets, even though he knows and she's telling him she's having bad hallucinations, she's seeing stuff that isn't real, and she's clearly not stable to be around people. And he's like, oh, don't worry, I'll get you out on the streets. If you behave, I can get you out and you can be, wandering the streets and stuff like that. And I was just sat back thinking, she's literally just told you that she's still getting haunted by visions. Like, all she needs to do is think someone's doing something. Like, if a guy is holding a woman's head because she's thrown up or something, like, she could kill the guy and end up going back to jail for actual, murder. Not justified murder, like actual, But anyhow, that's besides the point. Putting that logic of it aside, I thought, you know what, I'm going to roll with this. So anyway, goes to her apartment, and hears a noise in the bathroom, and you think, oh, what the hell's this? And she opens the door, and the boyfriend's there, drowning a girl, and it's the guy she set on fire. But there's no scars on him. So I'm like, well, this is clearly a hallucination. So anyway, first death we see is a hallucination. So it's like a flashback death. Shows what he did. So all he did is hold the head of the wall and hammered her, and she died. And she just stood and watched and was like, oh, I was just like, okay, fair enough. As you could tell, I really did like this movie. Because it started off and I was like, well, this looks like it's going to be okay. So it went on. And then she goes to bleed. Like, that's when the cop comes in and says about what I've just said. In her apartment, she literally just tells him that, she's on tablets, but she still sees the visions, blah, blah, blah. Keeps her nose clean, gets that job. It's called a graveyard shift. And it's where, obviously we know, night shift in a gas station. And it's like after clock, like 10 till 6, something like that. 10 till 6 in the morning. And it's pretty quiet, and you get the odd really creepy guy coming in. And anyway, before we get to the gas station bit, the movie's a bit of a mess as well, but it's so slow. Like, she's in a park talking to someone, and I was just like, I couldn't care less who she's talking to, like one of her friends, who's literally just there, just to be killed off. It's the best way to describe her, because you don't really know much about her. She just supports her like a traditional, stereotypical friend, but again, doesn't give her any advice. And again, this wasn't the movie that was advertised in that trailer. The trailer we just seen did not show any of this. Didn't show her hallucinating, the one in the bathroom. Did show her hadn't come out the toilet, so I'll give them that. But it didn't show it as a slow burn. That didn't look like a slow burn trailer to me. But it's a slow burn. A really slow burn. Like, this is half hour into it, and nothing's happened, apart from hallucination death. Didn't show her fighting him at the beginning, and then setting him on fire, and then going to the job, which would have been a much better opening. It just shows the end of the movie and then starts where it left off. So it shows her like all bloody and stuff, but it just doesn't look good because you already know that's going to happen. Like, makes no sense. Anyway, we roll on with the movie, and she goes to the gas station job, and she gets a phone call, someone saying what time she opened till, and she just obviously gives them a time to call again, say the same question, and she's like, oh god, and then obviously she hears his voice on the phone. And as you can see from the trailer, her logo is "You're not real." And then the guy comes in, this creepy guy who wants a number. Purposely left his credit card there so she'd call him and he'd get a number. That way, even though it's a star phone, he shouldn't have a mobile phone. But we won't jump into that. And then this other guy comes in. This is pointless, right? This pointless guy, right? Love interest, we'll say. And they have a chat like about what happened, and she just straight up tells him that she set him on fire, and straight up tells him what she did. And he's just like, oh, that's some heavy stuff, as he's drinking a beer, casually just listening to it, like, wow, if you don't want to talk, it's okay. And she's like, no, we'll do it, Anyway, she explains a whole lot to him, and he's like, wow, yeah, and he eats a cow's tongue out of a jar. I don't know why, but I didn't mind that scene, but it was slow. And it's 45 minutes into about an hour and a half movie. Nothing's happened yet. Another phone call. Then we go to finally something's happening in the movie. Is he comes into the store, and then she's like, oh, you're not real. And he's like, well, I am. And then he says what he says in the trailer. you know, you're going to watch everyone die. Because that's what she was known as, the Watcher, because he'd force her to watch them die. He found out that she knew what he was doing, which, you know, it's obvious. But she walked in on him doing it, in other words, like killing him. But snuck off and he didn't know. But she went down to a basement and it was like flooded. This is in his house, or their house, so to speak. And obviously there was bodies in the water. Makes no sense because surely she said it stank down there and he's killed loads of women down there. Like, surely the house is absolutely weak and you'd know. You know, these are all, like, some of them are old bodies because it's bones, but they're rotten. But I don't know how it works when you got them in the water, obviously. But anyway, he gets caught. He goes, you know, she sets him on fire. He somehow survives that, goes to jail, blah, blah. Like I say, he's in the store and she's like, you're not real. And he's like, well, I am. And, you know, obviously, I'm going to, you know, make you watch her while I kill everyone. So he ties up, he knocks her out, knocks a friend out. A friend somehow randomly appears. There's the guy who won about, the cop. He gets knocked out. And the other guy gets knocked out, even though the cop has a gun and could have shot him. Oh no, I'm skipping a bit here, aren't I? No, there's a bit that did my head in. Before this, she has hallucinations. So she goes to the toilet. That's when the blood comes out the toilet. And the arm comes out. It's all just a vision. All of it was a vision. The toilet scene in the trailer, vision. And then it cuts to... Oh no, shows a hooded figure. He goes, and another hooded figure's there. And it turns out that figure attacks her and goes mad with her with a knife, which I thought, finally, something's happening. This is like half hour near the end. And she starts swinging this knife at her, and she, you know, tussles with her. She's on top. And then the woman, before she stabs her, says she's the mum of one of the victims, which I was like, well, yeah, makes sense. And she just gets shot by the cop. And this is what I mean. The cop shoots her, clean headshot, she's dead, right? And then obviously the guy comes in, her boyfriend, who's still alive, the crazy, and he knocks. Well, he has a scuffle with the cop, and the cop, instead of shooting him, doesn't shoot him and starts to like hit him in any way. He knocks the cop out, and then because obviously he can't get shot that quick. Then the guy I'm on about, I'm just going to call him the guy. It's the cow tongue. He gets knocked out as well, and then she gets knocked out. Her friend's there. Friends get knocked out. They get tied up on chairs, and then obviously we see the bit in the trailer. But before that, the cop guy is tied up on the chair. They're all gagged, and he's like, "Well, you're gonna watch me kill him." So he sledgehammers the cop, which I thought was a waste of a character. But hey, we'll just say that pointless cop. You know, he didn't even, you know, can't remember. I think he didn't even try to call for backup. He might have got a call off because the cop does turn up later on, but they're pointless. And then he puts a bag over her friend. So his death gets bludgeoned with a sledgehammer, right? As she's watching, obviously, because he's making her watch them. That was brutal. And then the next one was just a bag over her friend's head. Really? Like, you couldn't have went all out and made her death gory too? Like, it's like, by how the trailer looked, it looked like it was going to be really gory and sort of, you know, gruesome, and it held back. Like, it's an 18 and it held back after he got slayed. Like, he just put a bag over her head. Like, what the hell? And it's a bit of boring death anyway. She dies boringly, and which makes no sense considering he used hammers and stuff. And then he goes to kill the guy in the middle, and something happens where he has to run out the room. I can't quite remember. I think it was the cop. No, Creeper comes back. Mr. Creepy, who left his credit card, comes back, and he's walking around for ages. And it goes on for like 10 minutes, he's walking around. And then, obviously, we see in the trailer, she gets free. This is why I'm glad we showed the trailer, actually. This has actually worked quite well. So she unties herself, unties the guy's one arm, and then he goes, there's a gun unlock, obviously, blah, blah. We know she gets the gun, loads it up, shotgun. Bearing in mind, she has not used a gun before. Instead of going for the cop's pistol, which was on him still, because as far as I'm aware, that pistol was still on him or on the floor, she picks up with his shotgun. Anyway, the guy who's Creeper, he gets No, he finds where they are. And he goes to open the door, and obviously, instead of shooting the villain guy, she shoots him through the door. One shotgun. So has to reload it. Anyway, guy comes in, blah blah. Can't remember what happens. I think she disarms her. He disarms her, and then it goes on, and the cop is there, and the cop gets splattered on a windshield. I don't know quite what happens. This is sounded a bit more, the way I'm describing it. It's sounding more gory than it actually is, and better. It's so not. And anyway, we go blah blah. Skip to the end. She stabs her boyfriend. The guy with the tongue, he dies instantly. Cow tongue. And she has a scuffle with the boyfriend and stabs him. And then as she's going away, instead of no, she charges at him with there's not an antelope. What are they called? A buck. It shows it at the beginning when she's talking to the gas guys, like this head. And in other words, she does a get out on the. If you've seen Get Out, I won't ruin it, but she does a get out on him. And it full on, brutals him. And he's still somehow alive. And instead of obviously breaking the horns off, keeping them in him, he pulls himself out of it and crawls to her and just dies. Like, just literally dies. As she's just there watching him die. Which is, obviously the thing. Anyway, ends. And it just ends. It just cuts. It just ends with her, obviously, how it was at the beginning. Laid all bloody. And I was just like, God, this was so bad. Because no one, survived, for one thing. She survived. But it was like, it didn't show the cops, sort of interviewing her, or if she was going to go back to jail because she nigh on killed him. Is she going to go back to jail? Is she still Staple? Oh, excuse me. Oh, I don't know where that came from. I think it's because I'm leaning on the stairs. You see how I am? Hang on, wait there, look. Hang on, maybe if I do this. That's how I'll be doing the video. Also, cute plant behind me. Hang on, I couldn't show you so far. Look at this one. So cool. But as I was saying, see what I mean with the glare? Oh, the living room's bright as. So I'm going to... Anyway, it ends like that. It doesn't show any repercussions of what she did. And in other words, it's boring. Don't waste your time with it. Watch this video instead of the movie. And enjoy. I don't know what that noise was. I'm going to go and figure out what that was. And I will see you later. And my next video, I was going to do The Witcher Season 3 review. But I thought... it's good, but it's so not good at the same time. It's not good. It was that, or it was a review of Guardians of the Galaxy, the game. Oh, I might do that as my next one, but obviously it'll be after a week because I'm away next week. Right, I will see you later, and take care, and see you in the next video. And if you haven't, if anyone's new, feel free to leave a sub. Mostly appreciated. And I'll keep the videos coming. So, see you in the next one. Bye. If I get it to stop recording, that'll be a start, wouldn't it?